Yes, please. Alright. This is it. The big day. Did you get any sleep? Yeah, I went to bed at 1 a.m. or so. Oh. What time did you wake up? 3 a.m. We only slept for 2 hours. It's only 2 hours, Apollo. But at least you have me. And the amazing Mr. Hat. Here's looking at you, kid. Good luck today, Apollo. That voice. Heya. Get any sleep? Mr. Wright. I was going out of my mind with boredom, so I signed myself out earlier today. Somehow, that place makes fake piano playing at the Indoctune pasta joint seem almost fun. Daddy, do you know who Prosecutor Gavin's witness is today? Take a guess. How about Little Plum? That Sherman tank of a mom? Nope, guess again. That's too bad. You know, speaking of moms, you need to find me a new mommy one of these days, Daddy. Who is your mother? That's what we need to know! It's barely morning and you're at it already. Oh, she's probably telling him to get married? Ooh! Knight Rider High, welcome on in. She wants the insurance money, probably. She's gold digging right now. Okay, see, this is why I don't buy their father-daughter relationship. Yeah, there's something fishy going on here. So, Mr. Wright, do you know who this prosecutor's witness is? Alita Talia, your client's fiance. Oh, and she's now on the stand? Phoenix is the witness? No. She's going to be a witness? So she's going to be a witness because we're going to point the finger at her. That's just usually how these games go. That seems odd. Why would she testify against her own fiance? You have to wonder what Gavin's up to. Something's going down today. That much is clear. Well, not to worry. I've got my panties back. If we can't find a killer, I'll pull one out of there. No. No, no. Burn them. Get rid of it. We don't want it. I volunteer. He's best boy. I don't think we need you to volunteer, Tawny, but thank you. Court is now in session for the trial of Walkie Kentucky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Man, we haven't seen Apollo in so long. Look at this boy. It's even cuter knowing that we're almost the same height. I love how he's just short. Prosecutor is warmed up and is a sold-out house. Very well. To recap, whilst yesterday's witness seemed more guilty than any other party, guilty of panty snatching, we did find out one thing for certain. There were 3 people in the park at the time of the murder: the witness, the victim, and the defendant. Correct, Air Judge. And today I'd like to do something a little new age. I like to look at this horrible crime from the outside. The outside? The acquisition of the murder weapon and the preparation of the act. Our poor defendant told all, you see, to his betrothed. Betrothed is the fiancé, Air Judge, his partner for life, with no chance for parole. Very well. You may show that lucky lady to the stand. Phoenix, hi, welcome on in. It's good to see you. Your name and occupation, Fraulein? Alita Talia. My occupation? His future wife. And murderer. I'm calling it now. Traditional values, I respect that. Too many brides these days can't even weave baskets blindfolded underwater. Judge, how old are you? Yet you're here today as a witness for the prosecution. To be honest, I didn't want to testify at first, but I couldn't hide the truth. Honesty, another admirable trait. Fraulein, is it true that on the day of the crime, the defendant, Walkie Kentucky, confessed his plans for murder? Yes. The witness will please give her testimony to the court. Wow, we're just going straight in. Okay. It was the day that the family health checkup results came back. When Walkie found out that Dr. Mirkitz had lied, he flew into a rage. I'll teach him, he said. He took one of the family's pistols. And you already know what happened that night. I just don't see how anyone but Walkie could have done it. That was like the most like just narrow like testimony ever. So the pistol did belong to the Kataki family then? Yes. With regards to this, an investigation is underway at the Kataki mansion on charges of the possession of illegal firearms. On the bullet that took the victim's life, was it fired from the pistol the defendant procured? Yes, this has been proven. How can you prove something like that? Bullets carry marks from the barrel that fired them, called rifle markings. Rifling marks? Think of them as being a gun's fingerprint left on every bullet that fires. And when did you first hear about Waki's plan? It was the day of the murder. I should have stopped him. I just didn't think he would actually do it. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. I bet she's the murderer. Yeah, I'm on the same thinking of that too. Okay, we're gonna start pressing, see what information we get. That was the day of the murder, correct? Yes, everyone in the family received their checkup results that day. When Waki looked at his face went so pale. But of course, he had just found out he had a bullet in his chest. So you were there at the time? Yes, or Waki. That must have been, quite frightening. He was furious. He ripped his report up into shreds. Incidentally, I had to request another copy to file as evidence. A bothersome chore, but one I performed without complaint. Waki's at an age where he's hard to control when he loses his temper. Of course, that little bit of instability is so cute. Great, now she looks like a sociopath. Or a psychopath. So, is it easy to make a pistol out from the house? Not really. I think there's a system in place to limit access. Excuse me. But Waki's a special case, being the next in line. Perhaps his treatment was a bit too special, yeah? Well, maybe he is a bit spoiled. I hear he got amazing presents for his birthdays. Last year was a switchblade made out of chewing gum and a chocolate gravestone. Okay. Sounds like he has a taste for sweets and danger. Report here being that Waki has access to a pistol. Okay. What happened? Meaning the murder? I tried to stop him, I really did, but Waki wouldn't listen. Our defendant has nothing if not determined, it seems. The last thing you should do is blame yourself, miss. Puts her arms up when she's lying. Maybe, but I mean, she kind of always has them up there. How can you say that for certain? How? I'm still saying I don't like this animation for him, because if it's supposed to be him hitting back here, his fist should be getting smaller for perspective. I feel like this is a bit of an oversight. I feel like his hand should be just slightly smaller. His hand looks huge! It looks like he's got like those big Hulk rock'em sock'em bobber gloves you could get for kids back in the day. Forehead. You will refrain from badgering the Fraulein. It was the defendant, Waki was it, who took the pistol from his home. Who knows this for a fact now? I suppose we do. So we could put everyone else have, so how could anyone else have used a pistol to shoot the victim? They could not. Simple logic, yeah? That does seem to be the case. Does the defense have anything to say regarding this point? Did someone else have used the pistol? I'm gonna say there was another, maybe? I don't know. Jack and Bapper is right. Her triggers when she looks away, maybe? He just has yaoi hands. You remember what his first words to Paula were? No, I don't. Based on your testimony, there was clearly another. One other person had access to that pistol. What's this? Interesting. Let's ask the defense then. Tell the court who this person has with access. I kind of want to say it's her, Just because, like, she's hanging out with him? I don't know. Do we say his mom? What do we think? Excuse me. Save? I don't think I can. We're stuck in here. We cannot do a save, unfortunately. We know from the slippers there was another in the park. That is true. The waifu do it? I can't save, friends. I cannot save. We are not in a saving position because the only you can tell if there's like the G button that shows up down here when it says options that lets me save. You think his dad? Well, there's 3 people that could have access to the guns. Waki, his father, and his mother. According to what his mother said about how the guns are with the house. So I go with fiance. The culprit was on the slipper. Okay, let's go for it. We might be wrong, but let's try it. Well, of course, I mean, you, Miss Talia. Are we right? Let's go. We'll do a quick save. Maybe. Actually, no. Hang on. We won't save until we get past it. Me? But why? You were quite clear when you told the court. You heard about the pistol from the defendant on the day of the murder. In other words, you knew what he was planning. Objection! Let me get this straight. You intend to tell us that this lady stole the pistol from her fiancé and killed the man in cold blood on his behalf. I've heard of people doing strange things for love, but this does seem a bit unfathomable, to be sure. I'm all for romance and for supporting your partner in life, to be sure, but I think I would hesitate in murder. I hope you'd do more than hesitate. But what if a different connection could be proven? A connection between the witness and the victim? We might find that she had a personal motive beyond wanting to help her fiancé. That would put things in a slightly different light. But what possible connection are you suggesting here? You know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think that the police never looked inside that safe. I have evidence showing a connection between the witness, Miss Talia, and the victim. It's gonna be Waki's chart report. Just so many blue high heels. I know, right? We have them also in our pocket. How does she have so many? Take that! That looks like a medical chart found inside a safe at the Meerkat's clinic. Save? I can save. Why not? Why not? There we go. There you go. We got the save. We're good. I can draw the court's attention to the names written on the chart. What? Miss Talia, whatever. Why is your name on this chart? Daughter. Daughter! Well, care to explain the meaning of this, Miss Talia? I'm not sure what you mean by meaning, Mr. Justice. Our warm little fiancé just froze over. I was on staff at that clinic until half a year ago. It was boring, so I quit. She's like a completely changed character. She was the nurse who signed it? Yeah, she was. That's all. Is there a problem with that? Miss Talia, you testified that you had no connection to the victim. And I don't. Now. I quit half a year ago, didn't I? So there's no connection. Let me guess. You're the kind of guy who can't rest until he knows every last detail of his girlfriend's past. Am I right? That's not true at all. Why, I embrace the ones I love. Objection! There's no connection now? Doesn't fly in a court of law. Doesn't fly? She's one tough nut. She probably feels right at home with the Katakis. You left your job at the Meerkat's clinic, true, but you remain connected somehow. Very well, Mr. Justice. Show us evidence that proves the witness is still connected to the Meerkat's clinic. These sandals were found in the Meerkat's clinic lobby. They're yours, aren't they? Got her! I don't know if the clinic slippers would have worked, Ryua, but I immediately thought of the shoes because it said they were found at the clinic. Mac is watching again? Hi, little Mac! Oh, what a little cutie. I hope he's enjoying. Well, who knows? I'm sure there are lots of people with those sandals. So sorry, Fraulein, but your act isn't working. Your moment of hesitation just now cost you. What's with you? I thought you were on my side. Perhaps you are unaware that toes leave toe prints. A simple analysis of these sandals will reveal all. This is why you don't wear sandals. This is why I always wear socks. You will never find my toe prints anywhere. I'll tell you that right now. Well, now we see your true colors. I was wrong to cooperate with you from the beginning. I just wanted you to help get Walkie back on the straight and narrow. This court thinks you need to worry less about Walkie and more about yourself. It sounds as though we need to hear a bit more about your story. Your sandals were found in the entrance to the clinic, which means you went there on the day of the murder. Well, well, there's little point in denying it. Very well. The witness will tell us about this visit. Why did you go to the Mirkit's clinic that day? Whew. Sebastian is sleeping on my husband's computer chair, so he's here too. Oh, little Sebastian. I hope he's getting some good sleepies. Oh, Grosser, thank you for the hydrate. Indeed, I will. For you, that kind of looks like just like a little peanut gallery of Zoe. One Zoe's taking notes, one Zoe's just sipping, going, ooh, what's happened? Another one's like, oh, this is getting good, gotta eat my snacks. And the other one's just like, I should investigate. Thank you for the hydrate. Oh, Night Rider, thank you for the stretch. Alright, let's get a good stretch in there, friends. Oh. Phew, thank you. Got scared early from a motorcycle, but I got him to relax and lay. Oh, that's good. Hi, so baby. Just kind of fluffed up the blankets where she's kind of got like a little tiny dog barrier, but look at her sleeping over there. What a little cutie. Cute baby. I did go to the clinic that day, my first time in half a year since I quit in January. I went to warn him after all. I knew Walkie had the pistol. The doctor always was a timid man, too timid to admit his own mistake. Why else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets. I wanted to tell him to be careful, as an old friend. Right. I know, she's a baby over there. Animals are too darn precious, except for when she's rambunctious. Aw, baby. Wanna come here? Do you wanna come sit in my lap? Oh, okay. Sometimes I can kind of get her to kind of like waddle her way over, but no, she's like, I'm snuggled, I'm in, do not move me. So we'll leave her be. By mistake, you mean? The mistake we heard about from the defendant. Yeah, she's cozy. I kind of want her to snuggle with me like she did yesterday, but I'll leave her be. The botched operation. He was a timid small man, but I never wished him harm. I just thought I should let him know, you know? Yeah. Sometimes it's cute. I find her bundled under blankets. Like, we could bundle her up in a blanket. Oh, I kind of want to make you a little burrito, but she won't let me. Oh, well. It does make sense. Yes, but there's still one thing which does not. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? The sandals left in the lobby, of course. We can assume she wore these sandals to the clinic, yeah? Then why did she not wear them home? If it were me, I would have worn them home. I would have worn those sandals home too. I just picture the judge and like some girly sandals like, oh yes, I'm having a nice girls' day. And it's like, okay, judge, you know, whatever. Dog bundles are always way too adorable. My favorite is like when she gets up and she starts like kind of like flipping the blanket. I call it where she makes a little baby nest where she'll stand up and one of her paws will just kind of like rake the blanket to kind of fluff it up, and then she like gets a little fluff pile going. Very cute. So why were the sandals left behind? I see you, Judge. Yes, Queen. Right? Slay, Judge. Pointing out the contradiction for me. There's probably a good explanation for this, right, Miss Talia? Say, for instance, there happened to be a similar pair of sandals there which we wore home by mistake? Actually, that's right. I'm impressed, Mr. Gavin. Oh, it is nothing. There is, after all, no other possible explanation. Yeah, forehead? Oh, what the? No fair! Let's fill in the holes in her testimony. Let a French may begin the cross-examination. Right? Calling bull on that one. Let's see. Objection, leading the witness, right? Okay, so we didn't get anything from there. So now she went to the clinic just to warn him. You know why she went, Apollo? Trying to figure out what really happened at the clinic. Fast. Okay, so we're gonna press it. I was wondering if there was gonna be anything about the slippers, because we have a contradiction, but we'll just we'll press and see what happens. Her hands touching her face is her freaking tell. Well, the thing is, our band's not lighting up, so we don't know if it's tell just yet. Because you have to remember, in these games, they only have a certain set amount of animations. So certain animations aren't going to be their quote-unquote tell until the game is determined there's going to be a tell, and then it'll be a little bit more obvious. But right now, everyone just has a certain set of animations, so I don't think we can really go off of anything. Ron, what time did you go to the clinic? I don't remember exactly, but it was after 9:30, I think. And that was the first time you had contacted Dr. Mirkitz in a year and a half? Of course it was. He wasn't the kind of boss you make friends with. So, why did you go to the clinic that day? Did you want Dr. Mirkitz to run away? Well, after I failed to stop Walkie, I thought that was the only other way to avoid the problem. Couldn't you have called? Why go in person? I called several times that evening, but no one was in. The victim was very busy driving home until after 9 p.m. that night, remember? This was proven by this mirror yesterday, yeah? I thought if I warned him, he would run away for sure, knowing the doctor. You mean that act of malpractice on Walkie, correct? If he had just told Walkie the truth in the beginning, none of this would have happened. True. That operation was the start of this whole affair. Oh, of course. If he had told him, he might have been erased by the Mirkitz much earlier. A disturbing thought. He thought that the Mirkitz clinic had ties to the Kitaki family. He probably couldn't have gone to the police even if he wanted to. That's why I knew I had to warn him. No dark secrets, eh? What? Look at me however you want, Mr. Justice. You won't find a thing. She's hiding something. I know it. I must have some evidence that proves it, too. You're free to think whatever you like. I went to that clinic with only one thought in mind. But then you'd be betraying Walkie, wouldn't you? No. I did it for him. For us. She went to warn him so that her fiancé would not come to commit such a crime, yeah? I didn't want them to take my Walkie away. There's no way she went to that clinic just to warn him. So there was something about that fourth statement. I'm gonna do a quick little save. Doesn't have any other dark secrets to hide. The only thing I think we have in our evidence about dark secrets Oh, I don't know. What are y'all thinking? I did save. We got the save in. Excuse me. Because when we pressed this, he said that we had to have something to, I guess, prove her dark secret or something. She was having an affair with a doctor. Well, we don't have any kind of evidence for that, Knight Rider. I mean, that's a good thought, but... The slippers? I don't think so. Art showing she knew about Walkie. Well, I feel like we already presented this. Unless the game wants us to do it again. Just what I'm trying to figure out, like, I mean, I guess the chart is kind of the... Because we presented the chart earlier to show that that she was the nurse on it. I know sometimes some pieces of evidence are used multiple times because they have different parts to it. We can try. I mean, we did save.
Objection!
Hey, look at you, Ryu. Because I think I had the right idea because my brain was like, what about the bullet? And I think my brain was in the right area, just not the right piece of evidence because it was about the safe. So, like, I was in the right realm of things, just not the right thing. How does your perceive power work again? So the game, so it's going to be one of the things where the game's going to let you know when it's going to come into play. So at the very top of the screen, when she's, excuse me, when we're talking to her, you'll see like an icon right about here on the top of the screen. Right now it's been grayed out and it's got the little bangle in there. Obviously, since we've only just learned about it in the trial previous to this one, that it lights up when there is the perceive, where we can perceive something about their tendency. I don't know how it's going to work throughout the rest of the game. I don't know if it's going to be one where our characters catch on and then we can activate it, or if we as players, now that we know it's a thing, have to watch for it to be like, aha, you know what I mean? So we have to, I guess, go a little bit further to see if the game's just going to be like, hey, we taught you the mechanic, now pay attention for when it happens, or if the characters themselves will say like, hey, I kind of saw them doing something shifty around this part, and then the next go around, it lights up. So we'll see. The chart was found inside a safe in the doctor's office. Yes. Why would this one chart be in the safe, Miss Talia? You know why it was, don't you? Mind filling me in? Dr. Mirkitz didn't have the leisure of making mistakes. That's why he wrote up a false report and kept the truth locked away. Bad Herr Doctor. And this is where you come in, Miss Talia. The nurse who filed this chart was you, which means you knew about Walkie's failed operation. Interesting. You were in the same position as Dr. Mirkitz. Kind of makes it hard to claim no connection, does it? Or I guess, doesn't it? You're bold for a novice, I'll give you that. Mr. Justice, you must know I was only a nurse. The doctor is responsible for the chart's contents. This chart business seems to be quite important. Please, amend your testimony accordingly. Too bad, little attorney. Okay, there it is. So, I know how Jacob was just asking about how we're supposed to perceive something, and that right there explained it. So I think it's kind of a mix of the two. The game has that kind of a whoop moment where like everything kind of gets weird, and then Apollo's gonna notice it, and then we're gonna know that our band's gonna activate. My bracelet's reacting again. What is it, Apollo? I felt my bracelet tighten just now. Your bracelet? Just like yesterday, like you said. When a witness is unsure of something, their nervous habit gives them away. But I can't sense anything, Apollo. Then what's my bracelet reacting to? Wait, maybe... Yes, that has to be it. What has to be it? Your sense, Apollo. They must be sharper than mine. Huh? I can't see it, but you can sense it. I don't know what that... I don't know about that, Trucy. I don't have some kind of special power or anything. Listen to me, Apollo. There's a weak point somewhere in Miss Talia's testimony. but we don't know what her nervous habit is. Well, then what do? You have to perceive it yourself, Apollo, with your eyes and your senses. And it's up to me and my bracelet. I don't know why, but the bracelet helps. Somehow, touching it helps me focus. Let's give it a shot and bring down the testimony. Okay, I'm gonna save, just because we're now in, like, new uncharted territory, and I'm scared. Okay. So, I'm gonna click and see... I'm gonna hit stop because I don't think there's anything here. I'm gonna pass. Okay, so it's not even like a certain piece of testimony. So I'm trying to remember. I mean, it's been a week, which really kind of sucks, but I'm trying to remember how perceiving it helped last time. Like, there was a certain part of the sentence that I had to perceive. Does anyone have any thoughts?
Hold it!
Oh. Did not mean to. She's hiding something, I can smell it. I bet she's got a habit that gives it away. I have to focus to find her nervous habit. Maybe it's the time to give my bracelet a rub? I have a theory that Iris is Apollo's ancestor because she has a line in the duology about how she tends to be able to just tell when someone's lying. It's possible, Rosamir. Yeah, with the whole, like, Great Ace Attorney and how certain characters are ancestors of characters here. You know, like, some of them are obvious because they're the main characters and stuff like that. But, like, other characters like Iris, it could be that Iris, stems down to Apollo in some way. So I wonder if I hit this. Oh, is she fiddling with... She fiddles with her ring! I found it. Okay. I'm gonna hear that again.
Gotcha!
Okay, I think we have it. Why go to the clinic for half a year chart now, you ask? But you know why you would go now, don't you? I don't know what you're talking about. It was quite clear, Miss Talia. You have a nervous habit. The moment you said the word now, you used your right thumb to fiddle with your ring. What? God, that's such a micro-expression. She was unsure. I saw it. Now, that's the key word. The chart wasn't a part of your past. It was a clear and present threat. It's ridiculous. Why, if that were the case, I would have had 6 months to do something about it. Indeed. Okay, I gotta get off this background. I feel like I'm getting dizzy. I don't normally get dizzy these kind of things, but there's just something about the screen I'm just like, which means something happened quite recently. Something to make that chart a problem for you now. Got her on the ropes now, I can feel it. I must strike the killing blow, with evidence. Miss Talia, there's no use trying to hide it. The chart became a threat to you now because of this. Oh god. So what is it on the chart that's a threat to her now? Bullet? You think so? I mean, I guess we did save, so what's the harm? Because of what? Oh, so it's not that. The brain of a toad? God. Ribbit. I mean, Okay, so not the bullet. Maybe the chart again? Chart wasn't a part of your past. If it's again, like for the third time, I'm gonna lose my mind. So I think what I've understood, friends, is when there's a part of a sentence that we need to pay it, that, you know, we can tell where, like, oh, she's lying about something. I think the whole point is, you click on the band and then you just gotta look around their model to see what they do. And like when I looked at it, I saw the ring wiggling. I knew. I was like, oh, got it. We have the new chart. We don't have any other chart. Something happened quite recently. Something to make that chart a problem for you now. Could it have been this? Or as the doctor said, Walkie only had about 6 months. You guys think the checkup report? You can try it. Good job, guys. Good thinking. Good thinking. And I don't have to get mad that it's the same chart 3 times in a row. A health checkup report belonging to the defendant. The Katakis are trying to get out of the business. A health checkup this month was their first ever. What did you think when you heard about this? Nothing. Why should I think anything? Oh, I think you were positively beside yourself, because you were afraid. You knew that Walkie's chest x-ray would reveal. A full half-year had passed since the operation. You thought you were home free. When the chart came back to haunt you. Ooh, got her. Got her! This game's like got some wacky colors. That's all, Your Honor. He's like, what did I just witness? What just happened? Did the witnesses admit to lying? I sensed it. There was a great aura emanating from her forehead. Very cool. So, the lady was lying, it seems. That's correct. She said she had no connection to the Meerkats clinic, but her connection was deep indeed. A bit too deep. If the Meerkats got a hold of this chart with her name, she'd be finished. Isn't that right, Miss Talia? You guessed it. Perjury, right? But apparently in this universe, perjury just really means nothing. Order. Order! I did it. I broke her testimony. Amazing, Apollo. I admit. I didn't see it at all. Daddy was right about you. Wait. Miss Talia? It's true. The chart was bad news for me. That's why I went to meet the doctor that day. But that's all. I told him about Walkie and went home. It appears this cross-examination is far from over. What? She hid the truth from us, this is clear, yet it is not clear that this truth has anything to do with the case at hand. Very well. The witness will add this to her testimony, and we'll have a bit more cross-examination. I was so close. You're so close. Keep on her, Apollo. Okay, so now you can see the bracelet silence. So now we don't have a micro-expression reactor. Nothing happened at all. I warned him and left.
Hold it!
How did Mr. Meerkats respond to the warning? Oh, he was quite surprised. Panicky, even. Who wouldn't be scared to learn a Kataki was after them? Incidentally, this court is not afraid of any mobsters. Why, we had a life-threatening situation just yesterday, right here in the courtroom. Yeah, real impressive the way you stood up to the attack of the amazing Mr. Hat, sir. After which I carried you back to the chambers. Sounds like the judge had quite a fright. Nothing happened in Dr. Meerkat's office that day, huh? But what about the mess we found? Something definitely happened in that office, Apollo. I know. but we can't prove when it happened, nor that Alita Talia was in any way involved. Well, let's try putting some evidence up anyway. There's no way she went to that clinic just to warn him. Do you know what she went, Apollo? I'm trying to figure out what really happened at that clinic fast. So obviously we gotta present something in that last bit. Especially that nothing happened at all. So now the question is, there's red sitting on the cord. So I'm like 50-50, friends. Tell me what you think. So we're trying to prove that something did happen at the clinic. Either the lamp or the bullet is the one thing I'm wondering. Bullet, because a bullet isn't nothing? That's what I'm thinking too, Jacob. I mean, we did save, so... I mean, that and also bullets are kind of serious, so...
Objection!
Let's go, team! You say nothing happened in the doctor's office. I disagree. Take a look at this. What's that? Looks like a squished up ball of clay. Kind of like you, actually. This bullet was found in the Mirkit's clinic office. Something did happen in that office, Miss Talia. I was wrong. That's okay. I was thinking kind of the lamp too, but then when Jacob kind of said like a bullet isn't nothing, it kind of was like, okay, you know what, that does sound right, because we could have said like the lamp, but then I feel like when Jacob said that, I thought, oh, the lamp probably could have passed off, like, oh, it's whatever. But I think the lamp's gonna come into play something later. Enough of this joking around. The police investigated that clinic. Ah, but this was stuck inside the doctor's office. Inside the safe? I guess the police didn't check that far. But there is a problem. How can you say that bullet was fired on that day? Weren't you the one who explained rifling markings to us? He's like, damn it, I did. The pistol was taken from the Kitaki mansion that day. The markings on this bullet match the murder weapon, and that proves a firearm was discharged in that office on the day of the murder. Not bad, Herr Forehead. Bailiff, have this bullet analyzed immediately. Lamps fall on accident, but bullets don't get into saves on very specific occasions. That's very true. 30 minutes later, a report arrives. The rifling marks on both bullets are identical. So the gun that killed the victim also fired this gun too. The fingerprints of a gun! Dun 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 dun! Wow, which seems to show the bullet in the safe was fired from the murder weapon. Perhaps the French would like to state their position? The bullet in that safe proves one fact. A pistol was fired in that office on that day. And at the time of the firing, the safe was open. The safe which contained the top secret chart. Do you think someone was threatening Dr. Mirkitz in order to open the safe? Only one person was in position to do such a thing. One witness, Alita Talia. Identical! Right. Order, order, order! Mr. Justice, where are you going with this? Are you accusing the witness? I mean, look at her! Of course I am! Alita Talia knew about Waki Kataki's botched operation. She got engaged to him without telling him about it. As long as that bullet remained in his chest, his days were numbered. What if she married him, and then the bullet finally reached its destination? What? That reminds me. Apparently, the Katakis have been asserting themselves in lawful business practices. They're making quite a deal of money, a fortune, if you will. Nefarious. So she planned to marry him just to get her hands on his fortune. I said it! She's a gold digger! Oh god, no! Waki! My boy. My cousin Vinny reference? Oh, I don't think I know. You keep talking trash about my Alita, and I'll sue you, lawyer man. Huh? Me? Yeah, you said You said you'd abuse my Alita. I think you mean accuse. Same difference. Well, you can't have her. She's mine. It was me. I shot the doctor. Me. He left me to die, so I left him to die too. There in that park. Walkie, just hold down a second. Just keep your hands off my Alita, or I'll... Oh god. Talia. I'm sorry, it's been so long since I've laughed so hard. Something funny? Walkie, wake up and smell reality. But, Alita, baby? The signature on the chart, the engagement. I mean, come on, it's so obvious. Even for a brainless, spoiled brat such as yourself. Alita. Your honesty is like a breath of foul air, Fraulein. Hey, I wasn't getting out of this clean anyway. So, the family fortune is what you're really after. That's right, I wanted the money. No way, that's whack. I ain't trying to hear that. Should have done the wedding earlier. Oh well. By the way, can I ask you a question? Who, me? I believe you said you were going to abuse me? Accuse. Oh, what crime might I ask? Huh? Oh, I'm a bad girl, sure. I got close to that brat because I wanted his money. But he was the one with a pistol. He could have fired it into the safe after I already left the clinic. What? I would never do a thing like that. It was definitely that silly brat. Wait, but... What are you talking about? Trucy, you had the most to lose if the chart was found. But I didn't have a pistol, now did I? Well, you could have taken walkies. You think he'd have mentioned that, no? All I heard him say is, it was me. I shot him. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spook you so. So, unplugging my controller. Apparently my controller's been over here just kind of vibrating from when the game's having its moment. My controller just fell off my computer tower. Walkie stopped talking, I know, right? Walkie joins Hairbrain and the falsely confessed confendant corner, right? We're a change of character, and that we are. I don't understand why she'd buckle and confess to this now. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what her games is? She's probably also playing like, well, you can't prove that I had that gun there, so how did I also shoot the man? Second there, I thought you slammed your desk. That was my controller slamming on the floor. Now Twitch knows not to, not the time when it's getting really good. What about Twitch? What's Twitch doing? It's only because he's trying to protect you. Sorry to intrude in this lovely conversation. But the two of you are forgetting one critical point. What point? Certainly the Fraulein wanted that chart. You assume she threatened the doctor into opening the safe, but then... Wouldn't she have taken the chart? Oh, you see? That chart wouldn't have been left in that safe. He's right. Buffering because it hates me, but I'm good for now? Okay, I'm glad, Brandon. Sorry, Twitch is being a hater. Miss Talia. Yes? It is clear to this court that you are not a very good fiancé. Oh, I'm flattered. Perhaps it's time you told us the truth. Tell us about yourself, including your actions and whereabouts on that day. Don't forget, we've proven that you were at the Mirkit's clinic on the day of the crime. She's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't even have proof I stole that pistol, do you? And that brat was spotted in the park at the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Mirkitz was shot in the temple or not. How would she know that? You know what I'm saying? Because she wasn't in trial, so how would she know that? Wait, how about this twist? Eldoon killer Mirkitz for stealing his car? I mean, I don't want to suspect him because he's a nice dude, but you never know. Them noodles. He went back later. Excuse me. The chart was dangerous, you understand. I needed to get rid of it. That's why I went that day. But you couldn't get the chart then, could you? And later that night, Dr. Mirkitz was shot. I heard about the shooting. Waited a day, but then I had to go back. No easy feat with the cops all over the place. Ah, that was you? Yeah, it came from behind the door. Someone's in there. A break-in. We left through the window. That's why she only put in half the digit code. Because we were coming in. So, you were the burglar. That was you two? Only had one more minute. Then I could have opened the stat safe and gotten the chart. What? That's trespassing. And brazen at that. Oh, is this a trial for trespassing now? Besides, you can't blame a girl for wanting to protect herself. They are gangsters, you know. In any case, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination. Sophia, come here. Sophia, come here, baby. No? Sophia. Baby. Here. No? I need you to help me solve this case, my baby girl. You think you can solve the case? You know who did it and how? Have you been paying attention? It's gonna be a test later. Baby. Ah. Oh, good poppers. Yes. Good baby. Let me get you situated. No, you're like, I don't want to stay. Oh, careful. No. Do you want to go find your dad? Is that it? No. You don't want to snuggle? Okay. Come on. Do you want to go find your dad? Come on. Okay, let me let her out. Okay, so baby. She's decided she's had enough. She'll be back. She always comes back. You absolutely love this game? Oh, I think we all do too. Yeah, she kind of thumps the mic. I'm so sorry. Admitting the little crime to avoid the big one, eh? Okay. Which is kind of presses to see what we get. Why, that day. That brat was uncontrollable. He was ready to kill. And that would bring in the police, and that chart would become evidence, and I'd be hung out to dry. But the police didn't check the safe, did they? Well, they thought the crime scene was the part. I'll make sure the responsible parties feel the heat. Such sloppiness won't be tolerated, yeah? I'm thankful for the sloppiness myself, actually. That was not a complaint. I enjoyed the thumbs. Well, I don't know if everyone enjoys the thumbs, but I'm glad he did, at least. She's got a very big thumpy tail. Later. When I heard what happened, well, I was too scared to do anything that day. So I waited until the day after. The 16th, wasn't it? Of course, you and that, meddling kid had to get in my way. But why did Mr. Mirkitz keep the chart around? It was clearly dangerous for him. He could have burned it. Because he's a coward. Chart was his insurance. Insurance? My signature on that chart, to be more specific. That made sure I couldn't betray him.
Hold it!
But you could have stolen it. Could have? Is some new definition of proof? We'll ask Waki. He'll tell us. Might I remind you, this is a cross-examination? You might want to keep your baseless theories to yourself. He's right, isn't he?
Hold it!
Yeah, but, But what? You have nothing to say. This case is over. It was over the moment that brat was seen in the park. What's the point in dragging it out any further? The doctor was shot in the right temple, yes? So it seems. Let's review the facts again, shall we? If the killer shot from this location, the bullet would have struck the victim square in the forehead. However, the entry wound was on the right temple. Yes, we heard testimony on this yesterday. At the moment of the shooting, the witness standing here. Just before the gun was fired, he shouted. Oh my god, Judge, no, that's the previous one. The victim turned his head and was shot.
Objection!
But that testimony was proven to be a lie. Our egregious panty snatcher, Mr. Stickler, did witness the crime, but he was standing to the north, next to the trash can where he tossed those panties. If Mr. Stickler shouted from this location, the bullet would have struck, couldn't have struck his right temple. Silly, silly attorney. What? Do you remember what you heard for, what you had for breakfast this morning? Do you remember, Trucy? I always have a glass of milk for breakfast. What matters is one thing. The doctor was shot in his right temple. If that's the case, there can only be one explanation. The panties guy was mistaken.
Objection!
But his location was proven. You can't write that off as him being mistaken.
Objection!
Then why don't you show us, Herr Forehead? Show you? What? Must I explain everything? Very well, let's recap. If the witness, panties guy was standing to the north, then where was the shooter standing? From what location did the killer shoot the victim? But wait, if the witness was standing there, how could anyone shoot the victim in the right temple? I merely laid out the facts for us. It is up to the one who possesses the shiny forehead to show us. If you can, that is. Walkie-talkie was standing at the killer mark. Wesley Stickler was at the witness mark. And of course, Pal Americans was the victim mark. Not sure what the French has to say. Where was the killer standing when the killer... So obviously, if we say witness, then we're gonna go back around and like say like, oh, I guess it was him. But hey, I'm gonna save because we're cowards and we like to be safe. I'm gonna say someplace else just to kind of be like throwing suspicion behind the witness. I feel like someplace else kind of fits with that too, Ryua. Yeah, because if he never turned to look this way, like if he never looked at the witness when the witness like, no, please don't. Because if, like we said, if he would have turned this way, the shot, if he truly was a shooter, then it would have been something else. So it could have been somewhere behind here. Could have been in this tree bush thing. I'm gonna say someplace else. As the facts stand now, we can't explain this crime without contradicting ourselves at some point. But I know why. The real killer shot from an entirely different location. What are you talking about? I don't see any other place. Apparently Mr. Justice does. Let's hear it out. Where in the park did the killer shoot the victim from? It's time to raise the roof and the stakes, eh? Penalties are such frightening things, don't you think? But what if they were a bit more terrifying? Bro, now's not a time for an air guitar solo. Like so. Double penalty. If Forehead wishes to take us on a new direction, then we must be ready for the challenges ahead. Challenge accepted. It's justice time. Are you sure, Apollo? No. The key is the witness, Mr. Stickler's testimony. If we believe that and we know where he stood, and the victim turned when he shouted, that means that it's got to be somewhere from this angle. I mean, one place where the killer could have been. Oh, it's inside the noodle stand!
Take that!
Show them your noodles! I believe we all owe a debt of gratitude to Miss Alita Talia. What do you mean? Thanks to you, we had a chance to review the crime. And this time, we were prepared. we know that Wesley Stickler was telling the truth. We should have listened to him from the beginning. Yeah, you were right. Wesley Stickler was standing next to the trash can when he saw the two men. He shouted just as he told us in his testimony. And the victim turned to look at his direction. A shot was fired. The victim was hit in the right temple. Oh no. Oh yes. Which direction was his right temple facing at that moment? That's right, toward the noodle stand. We're getting to the bottom of this, friends. Order. So you're saying the killer was inside the noodle stand? I had a feeling there was a fourth person. I mean, there had to be. Because once we ruled out it was that witness, there immediately had to be a fourth person. Because that's just A, how these games works, and B, that's the only other logic that would have made sense. That A, our client's not guilty, and B, it wasn't already the witness, and the victim did not murder themselves, so... Let's think about this a moment more, shall we? You say the killer was inside the noodle stand, which would mean the victim, Dr. Mirkitz, came to the park, wheeling his own murderer in the cart behind him. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. To think you'd notice if you were pulling someone along. There's something we should worry about before that. Why was he pulling the noodle stand in the first place? Yeah, there was definitely like a four-way of different people going on. Wait, were they really trying to kill Waki to turn... and the turned head got in the way? Maybe, Ryua, you might be right. Still confused about the noodle car. I feel like once we get to the end of the case, everything will make sense. It usually does. Let's deal with our problems one at a time, shall we? Someone was hiding in the noodle stand. We have not come this far to talk about possibilities. Let's talk about proof, baby. Show us evidence that proves someone was in that stand. Can I prove that? You want evidence that someone was in the stand? Well, too bad! So... I feel like we have to show evidence, but I'm not sure what evidence to show. Because we found all the noodle bowls at the Mirkit's place, right? So we know he emptied out all the bowls from the stall. Which obviously would make room for someone to be able to be in it, too. Can we examine the stand? I mean, I guess we can. I don't really... Yeah, so there's only a couple places we can really click on. I don't think we're gonna get all that much from examining it, unfortunately. Slippers. Where were the slippers found? So we know they were in the trash. The problem is, like, I wish we were able to get the scene of the actual, like, location. Either the stand or the slippers. Like, that's, like, the one thing that's, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what the game logic kind of is. The problem with that last part, Jacob, that you have with the footprints from the stand, we don't have any piece of evidence that states about the footprints. Because that's where I want to say, because there was a footprint leading away from the stand, meaning someone got out of the cart. The problem is we don't have any of that evidence because, and that's why I wish we had a map of that area, because then we can point out the footprint. The only problem with the slipper, I feel, Is it all it says is slippers used by patient at the American's clinic, big toe print found in the slipper. It doesn't say anything about fighting at the park. So I'm not sure if that's what the game wants for the logic. So we know it's not those two. Let's do another cheeky save, because why not? We can try the slippers. Not saying we need the evidence, but that leads the slippers for me. Wait. Okay, I'm waiting. We don't have the Zoe wait emote, but I'm waiting. Oh, you're back, Zoe, baby. My daddy keeps putting me in here. I don't want to be here. Wanna come back? Okay, she's like, no, I don't want to sit on your lap, but I'll be back. Hi, baby. Did you have to go outside again? Yeah? You a good baby? Footprint in park matches footprint in sandals. Could be a connection. Leading towards slippers. Well, we did get the save, so I guess we could try the slippers. I've got it right here. Intriguing. Let's see what you got. Show us proof that someone was hiding in the noodle stand. Okay.
Take that!
The Meerkat's clinic, and they're covered with paint. These slippers were found in a trash can near the crime scene. And a single slipper print was found at the scene. Right next to the noodle stand. Okay, I was wondering when the music was gonna play. I'm like, did we not get it right? Because the music was not stopping. Normally when you get it right, the music just kind of like ends like it did now to kind of be like, aha. So, I think we did it. I don't think it's a bait and switch. Oh, Miss Talia, your toe print was found in the left slipper. That's why you wear socks. In other words, this is proof you were inside that noodle stand.
Objection!
Yet there's only one slipper mark found at the scene. Can this be called a footprint in good faith?
Objection!
Observe the diagram. A park pathway runs right next to the slipper mark. A slipper wouldn't leave a trace on a cobblestone path.
Objection!
Yet you still cannot say this is a footprint, yeah? Why not? You have an impression left by a single slipper. What if it was on the stand and simply fell on the ground?
Objection!
That's just dumb. One more thing. A noodle stand is typically cluttered with tools of the noodle making trade. There's no room for a person to ride in there. You have a point. Could someone have hidden in the stand? Apollo, I think I might be onto something. I think I figured out one of our pieces of evidence. In order to make room in the stand, some things would have to be... Well, Mr. Justice, you have proof that someone could have hidden in the stand. I can prove one thing. Someone did scheme to clear space in that stand.
Take that!
This is a noodle bowl from the stolen Ellen Noodles noodle stand. Rush, what about it? We discovered a large quantity of these bowls yesterday. Yet this is where the bowls come into play. In the lobby of the Meerkat's clinic. A large quantity of noodle bowls in the victim's clinic. Eldun was very clear about those bowls. I don't care who did it. Without that stand, I'm finished. And my noodle bowls were in there too. Yet the bowls were removed. That night, there was space inside that noodle stand. Space created at the Meerkat's clinic, no less. Right around the time that you were there, Miss Alita Talia. Stop! Got her. I won't listen to any more of these wild fantasies. No, not fantasies. They're worse lies than that spoiled brat's pickup lines. I would like to remind the witness of her current status. This court does not consider you entirely innocent. Show me an innocent. I'll show you a fairy tale. In any case, the defense has somehow made its point. The witness had both a motive and an opportunity to kill the Meerkats, or Dr. Meerkats. More fairy tales. This whole trial is a fairy tale. And please, pull us back down to reality, Miss Talia. I'm giving you one last chance to explain yourself. This is it. Why was Dr. Meerkats pulling the stand that night? And what was Alita Talia doing inside it? Time to get to the bottom of this case. Right, let's go! We're gonna send her to jail. Soon. That night, I went to ask Dr. Mirkitz for the chart. I had no intention of ever letting that chart fall into the Kitaki family's hands. But Dr. Mirkitz didn't understand. For some reason, he thought the Kitakis had sent me. So I gave up and went home. All I did was talk to him. But then why'd you leave your slippers there? You know about the botched operation. You tried to get rid of the chart to save yourself. I won't make excuses. And I did warn the good doctor. I gave him a chance. I told him that brat got his health checkup report, and that he was coming to settle the score. I see. Very well, Mr. Justice. Begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. This is the last testimony. Either I perceive the truth, or it's over. She's the panty thief? We already discovered the panty thief. Oh, so we got another perceived moment. I'm just gonna press them like normal. Just gotta see. So you did go to steal that chart. Were you listening? I said I asked him for it. The victim was a man in good health. I don't see how she could have coerced him. True, it would have been impossible without the pistol. But what if she did have a pistol? I'll admit, I wanted the chart. That much is true. Why? My reason was simple. Press her like a pair of pressed pants. I guess we will.
Hold it!
It certainly would have put a damper on your wedding plans, I'd say. Not only that, if the Kitakis had gotten that chart, I'd probably be with Dr. Mirkitz now, pulling that great noodle stand to the sky. It seems our witness was in a fix as well. Who would want to die pulling a noodle stand? When I die, it will be by disappearing mysteriously in the middle of a magic act. But be a little less morbid, please. So you see, I needed that chart.
Hold it!
Didn't understand? He wouldn't listen to a word I was saying. The moment he saw me, he started to tremble. I thought, what a sad excuse of a man. Please don't smile like that anymore, it's creepy. Excuse me. He was practically delusional. They sent you? He thought the Kitakis had sent me to get the chart. It makes some sense. You are their son's fiance. Don't make me laugh. The Kitakis send me? They don't play that way. If they'd known about that chart, they would have gone in there with guns blazing. But I couldn't have convinced the troubling doctor otherwise. Ooh. A bit of a tickle. So I gave up and went home. I think that's like a bold-faced lie. If that were really all that happened, what were all those noodle bowls doing there? How should I know? There weren't any bowls when I went, I know that much. Why don't you let me be and go look for your killers someplace else, alright? Oh, I detect uncertainty there. This is my last chance. Hollow, any words from your bracelet? Yeah, actually, I felt it respond. I couldn't see a thing. It's up to you, Apollo. Time to perceive the truth. Here comes justice. Okay, so we didn't get anything from that. Let's just kind of do this at multiple points. Because her tell was that. I wonder if she's got a tell here that's different. Yeah, I don't really see anything. Oh, the scarf! Oh, I saw it! I saw it at the last moment. Right there. All I did was talk to him.
Gotcha!
Yeah, she's... All I did was talk. And lie. What? Show me proof. I'm pretty sure about this one. I think I'm getting the hang of this. A little slip in confidence and they give it all away. The proof is you, Miss Talia. All I did was talk to him, you claim. Yet, you can't hide your own nervous twitch when you say those words. My twitch? What are you talking about? You have a habit of scratching the area of your neck around the edge of your scarf. What? It's working better than I'd hope. Her unconscious actions tell the truth she won't say. Habits and lies. 2 dots. Connect dots and find the truth. Don't look at me like that. I told you the truth. It seems that when you recall what really happened in that office, you can't keep your hands off your neck, can you? It seems that nervous habit are unconscious reactions that manifest when someone is trying to hide something. You can't hide behind your scarf, Miss Talia. Something happened between you and the victim in the Mirror Kids Clinic office. And I've got proof that shows exactly what happened. I think it's the lamp. It could be her lipstick, maybe. I'm going for it. I'm going for it, chat. All in.
Take that!
Take that! It's the lamp! What's that? You're touching your scarf again. Got her. There's something unusual about this lamp. The bulb is broken, and there's a red splotch on the cord. Seeing how you hide your neck, I think I can come up with a plausible explanation for the lamp's state. Well, spit it out. But this talking circles nonsense is killing me. Very well. The answer is very simple, Miss Alita Talia. Please, remove your scarf. Yeah, that's right. Take it off. Yeah, take it off. If you got nothing to hide. Got her.
Objection!
This is a trial to determine what happened in the park, yet we seem to have drifted off target. We'll find out soon enough if we're drifting. As soon as the witness removes her scarf. I won't do it. This is insane. I'm an unrelated third party. You can't order me to remove. Miss Talia, I'm afraid you've forgotten what's already been proven. What? You're hardly unrelated. Please remove your scarf. No. No! Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you for telling her to take off the scarf in a very forceful way. Like, take it off. I knew it. So I was right. Wasn't I, Miss Alita Talia? She was strangled. Your neck. That isn't what I, think it is. Something did happen that night at the Mirror Kids Clinic. You needed to get that chart back no matter what it took. Even if you had to steal your fiance's pistol to do it. But wait. Looking at this lamp and the witness's neck, it looks like the very opposite happened. Exactly. The victim in the clinic that night was this witness, specifically. Is her real name Felicia? Because we're about to say bye to her. It is now. You tried to threaten Dr. Mirkitz and he attacked you. That's what happened that night at the Mirkitz clinic. Which is why I look so disheveled. Oh. Her outfit's trying to fly away. Got her. Order, order, order! Will someone please tell me what really happened? I told you the truth already. I went to the clinic that night to warn Dr. Mirkitz. That gangster knows everything. He's coming for you. Look. Looks like my clinic's seen its last patient. We have to get rid of that chart. Quick, open your safe. Give it to me. So you can save your own skin. What? I know what you're up to. You want in with the family. And if they see that chart, you're finished. Leaving me holding the short straw. But if I'm going down, I'll want some company. You. And what happened next? He jumped at me and knocked me into the floor. Then he took the cord. God, he could have just killed her right there. Pal Mirkitz was serious. Deadly serious. He really tried to strangle me. You could have had, like, multiple murders. I must have blacked out. Oh. So he didn't, like, strangle her, like, you're gonna work with me, and she's like, uh-huh, and he's like, cool. No, he, like, strangled her and then threw her in the back of the noodle cart. Interesting. So, you were the victim. And the red splotch on the cord was your lipstick. I called the lipstick part, at least. I didn't want to remember that night. That's why I didn't bring it up. There... Are you happy now? I was out cold, almost killed, and you claim I then snuck into that noodle stand. But how could I? She was put in the noodle stand. Oh, wait, no. No, I was gonna say he probably was gonna take her and be like, ha, see, she's bad, and taking them. Then I was like, wait, but if he would have taken the chart, it wouldn't have been in the safe, and then the family would have gone after him too, so that's not it. Why was she in the back of the noodle stand? I still have questions. Well, one thing is clear. We now know what really happened at the Mirkitz clinic, and it would seem that our victim was not entirely without blame himself. I'm sorry. He's going to dump her body? Maybe? I got so nervous just thinking of it. It's hard to breathe. I've told you everything. Can I go home now? You bear some responsibility for revenge that day, true. Yet, if it were also a victim, this court would owe you some sympathy. Well, Mr. Justice, I believe this clears up the remaining questions for Mr. What do you mean? No, it doesn't. Then how did he get shot from the noodle stand? When did this happen? Suddenly, everyone's sympathizing with her. I don't know what to think anymore, Apollo. I mean, is that it? Do we know everything we need to know about Miss Talia? Absolutely not. Very well. This finishes the cross-examination of this... I gotta do sit guitar solo! Not so fast. This party's just getting started. Now, we rock. What? Those spikes on your head are softer than they look. Or do you not have the stomach to go all the way? Prosecutor Gavin! Pal Mirkitz choked the lead Talia. She fell unconscious. But what happened next? He's right. There is more we don't know. But she was choked hard enough to leave that mark. She would have been out for a while. Even still, what if it was her in that noodle stand? Lead Talia, half dead. Dr. Mirkitz pulling that stand. And a bullet fired from the inside the noodle stand. What if it's all true? We might have already figured out what truly happened that night. How did she still have the gun? I mean, maybe he just kind of left it in there, you know, I don't know. Mirkitz stole the cart, removed the plates, put her in the cart along with the gun. She woke up in the cart and found a gun. Did she mean to kill Mirkitz or Walkie? Good questions. Good questions. Miss Lita Talia, as you can see, we're not through with you just yet. You really want to blame me for this murder, don't you? You too, Prosecutor Gavin? Me, Fraulein? I only wish to know the truth. Well, let's go back over what we learned up until now. On the day of the murder, Walkie saw his checkup report, from which he learned about the bullet still inside him. Ooh, excuse me. So he took a pistol from the family stash, with the intent to give Dr. Mirkitz some of his own medicine. And Miss Talia heard about this from Walkie, so she went to the Mirkitz clinic ahead of him, in order to get rid of the chart with her signature. But then something happened. Sounds like you figured it all out. But remember, I was the victim. I was out cold. But what about Dr. Mirkitz? That does seem to be the problem. He had just strangled Alita. Perhaps he thought to death. What did he do after this crime? He was just knocked out, not dead. From the state of his clinic and the scene in the park, I think it's clear what the good doctor did next. Well, Herr Forehead, care to guess? Well, Mr. Justice, What did Dr. Mirkic do? Maybe he did think he killed Alita Talia. Do I have evidence to show what he did next? What if he took the gun and shot the safe, maybe? The bowls? Oh, I can't even save here. Gross! I think he staged the bullet. That's what I'm thinking too. Because she never said that she tried to shoot him, so he might have staged the bullet. That's what I'm immediately thinking. So, yeah, you guys are thinking noodles? Oh god. Bullet then plates. He put her in the cart. Yeah, so I'm thinking he staged the bullet. And then he got the cart, took out the bowls, and then put her in it. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going with the bullet first. Just because that's like my first gut reaction. I'm gonna go for it. This evidence shows what he did next. Shows what? Okay, so it's not the bullet. So apparently staging is not a thing. Let's try this again. Yeah, let's do it. I'm also gonna save. Shot the gun, then remove the plates and put it in the cart. Yes. I feel like the staging could have, like, I feel like we could have argued that, like, he shot the safe. Because she never said anything about her shooting at him. So where did the bullet in the safe come from? Do I have evidence to show what he did next? I'm also trying to figure out, because there's a car clinic, right? I guess he had that accident beforehand? I'm just also trying to figure out how those slippers got the paint. Noodles he put in the cart to dump the body? Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, Phoenix. Where does the hit and run come in this? The yellow envelope? You mean this? This is an autopsy report. So we're trying to figure out like what he did next. So he just strangled her. He probably thinks she's dead. Hit and run was first and did something to the car that made him need the cart. I mean, he just lost a side mirror. That wouldn't make the car like inoperable by any means. I mean, I guess we could try to go noodle stand, maybe. I feel like this is what we're probably gonna be like, like it was probably the most easiest thing, but I think we're just being too galaxy brain and like literally thinking out his complete next steps, and the game's like, that's not what we want.
Take that!
Okay. So I guess they wanted us to be like, well then he went to go steal the stand because he got to get rid of the body. But the underwear and the tailpipe might. I mean, I don't think the underwear would have bunched up enough that it would have completely did a backup on the car. So I don't really think, because if it was like a potato, that'd be something different. Something that would completely clog the tailpipe entirely. But legally, you only need 2 working mirrors for a legal car. So a rear mirror and a right side mirror. Yeah. And also, like, okay, the cop pulls you over. You say, hey, I just got in an accident. I need to go get it fixed. And, you know, the cop just kind of writes you a warning. You can easily write off of that, too. But anyway, as his next move, Dr. Mirkitz stole Guy Eldon's noodle stand. What? Killing me disturbed him that much? So much he randomly stole a noodle stand? It wasn't so random. Remember all the bowls in the clinic's foyer? Bowls that belonged inside the stand. I think it's pretty obvious, don't you? That stand was at the clinic. However, the question is, why did he remove the bowls? Maybe because the stand was heavy? Or he wanted to put something in the stand in their place. Ah, wait, you don't mean... I do. Dr. Mirkitz did replace those bowls with something. Your corpse, Miss Talia. My corpse? Dr. Mirkitz panicked. He thought he killed you. Also, real quick. Oh, Epic, welcome back. It's good to see you. How'd the tourney go? But also, low-key, he's a doctor, and he thought he killed her. Did he not try to check for a pulse? He just, like, choked her out and went... Gotta get rid of a body. And you're not gonna be like, listen for a heartbeat, check for a pulse. I know you knocked her out, but it's not like she just, like, goes into, like, somewhat death mode. Badly, just wasn't our day. Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully you'll get him next time. What other reason would we get the cart instead of just putting her in his car? I feel like there's gotta, like, I feel like the problem is we now just don't understand why he stole the cart. Like, yeah, because it's like, I don't get why he just didn't put her in a car and drove off, but yeah, heat of the moment, I guess. His next move would be to dispose of the body. That's crazy talk. You're all crazy. How are we crazy? And let's think about it. Logically, the doctor had a place to dispose of you in mind. But on his way there... Oh, was he gonna try to, like, frame the Kataki family? Who should be run into but the defendant, Waki Kataki? I question your logic. What's this, Prosecutor Gavin? The park is a dead end. Why would he head in that direction to begin with? That's right. He had no reason to go there. Oh, now I get it. It was a trick. That spoiled brat made him do it. He made the doctor steal the stand. I think he thought they would blame Eldun instead of him. Oh, maybe. A possibility. Tell me, why would someone go to a dead end? Unless the park was his destination. What? Apparently the French has an idea. Tell us where Dr. Mirkitz was heading with the stand. Here, please show us on this diagram. Where exactly was the victim dragging the stand? Oh, is he trying to drag her to the river? Crazy. I was crazy once. They locked me in a room with rats. Rats made me crazy. Yep, the water, that's what I'm thinking. He was probably just gonna dump her. There's a river. Yes, Your Honor. I scarcely need to explain why. A perfect place to dispose of body. He was going to throw me in that river? He didn't have any other options, Fraulein. I believe this clears up all the other remaining questions. The victim pulling the stand and the defendant before him. And inside the stand, you, Miss Alita Talia. And then, the denouement or whatever? Wesley Stickler of panty-snatching fame walks up. Seeing the two men, he shouts in that instant. She's like, how dare you choke me out? Bang! Got him. You still have some questions? I think at this point we can answer. What questions you got, Unicorn? Denouement? Wachiko? So, I shot him. You were the only one who could have stolen Waki's pistol. It had to be you. Well, Miss Talia? Nice work. You mean I'm right? I mean, you've done a fine job dreaming up a story. How did she have a gun, and how did the bullet end up in the safe? I feel like that's gonna be a bit omissioned, it seems at this point, maybe? It could have been that she asked him to open it. You know, he opened it, and, you know, she might have fired as he jumped her, and the bullet hit the inside of the safe, and then he choked her out with a cord. The one thing is, I don't know why he tossed her in the back of the noodles cart and been like, here's a gun, dead body. And not just keep the gun on him or something, you know what I mean? But whatever. Oh, it's pronounced denouement? Denouement? Whatever. I can't pronounce it. It's one of those things. To get that spoiled brat off the hook. You're the one who's dreaming. Apollo's backed up everything he said with facts. If you're so sure he's making up, give us another reason. Why was Dr. Mirkitz pulling that stand through the park? Who knows? But there's one gaping hole in your logic. I think Mr. Gavin knows, whereof I speak. Where of what? I can't believe, she's still trying to deny this. Is this true, Prosecutor Gavin? I must say, be the one to point out Herr Fraulein's errors. Maybe there really is something. I believe the Fraulein speaks of Herr Doctor's car. His car? That's right. The Mirkitz clinic has that big garage. In which shot a green sports car, was it? Why would he steal the stand? I like how we were like, why is he stealing the car? And we kind of came up with some ideas, and now it's bringing up, so now we get to talk about why he stole the car. Technically not illegal if it's registered and you have a permit. I mean, it depends, because this takes place in Japan. Usually this game's roughly should be taking place in Japan-ish. So it's like, it's a real question of, what's the word I'm looking for? Because like, obviously here in America, a lot of states you can easily, some states you can get guns very easily, other states you can still get guns still relatively easily. Yep, Japanifornia, yep. I feel like this game, for Jacob, what you said, this game is kind of based off of very, very loose Japanese law. It's not one for one, obviously, by any means, but I think it's more of a play on how Japanese law does work, but obviously Japanese law isn't like this, but it is definitely a play on it. Why would he steal the stand in the first place? If he wanted to carry a body, he would have used his car. And so we found our victim without probable cause to steal the stand, and our defense without the case. I have an idea. You know that green car? I bet it wouldn't run. It was broken. Ah, what an excellent counter-argument, Fraulein. Too bad you're quite wrong. Don't tell me you've forgotten what happened to your daddy. Daddy? That's right. That night, the car that hit Mr. Wright. That was that green sports car. Oh yes, I nearly forgot about that. Afterward, he drove it back to that garage. It ran fine. That's right. So why didn't he use his beloved sports car, A glaring contradiction, to be sure. More glaring than your forehead. No. No! Excuse me. Phoenix is standing like he doesn't have a care in the world about getting armor. Well, he's got plot armor. He don't need to worry about no car. Car's got to worry about him. Games are a parody of Japanese law. Yeah, 100%. They are definitely a parody, especially in like the soap bar parody into the extreme absurd. And we're in Fight of the Moment, but doesn't mean it ran after the fact. But I don't remember who said it, but I think he was trying to frame the other doctor, because he's always been after Eldun, apparently. You know, stole his medical career, did a bunch of other stuff. So he could have just been like, oh, what a perfect chance to then frame him for a dead body. But paint on slippers shows accident took place before she was attacked in the office. Yeah, that's the one thing that's kind of wondering, like, how did she get paint on her slipper? But there's also no paint transfer from when she stepped out of the cart. Order. Order. Oh, Mr. Justice, why didn't Mr. Mirkitz use his car to carry the body? Is that a groan of surrender I hear? Some advice. Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days. Everything I've learned. Mr. Justice, this contradiction casts doubt on your entire case. This is truly your last chance, and truly I'm going to save. But a French will explain to us what happened that night. Someone else stole the stand, the car didn't run, He carried the body in the car. This one doesn't make sense. Because if the accident happened before what happened, why would he go back home with the body to then steal the car? Timeline, hit and run, garage, magic panties and tailpipe, murder, cart, crime? Maybe? Car didn't run. Can be the only reason. Fun fact, you're guilty until proven innocent in Japan, which is why Japan has an over 99% conviction rate. Yeah, Japan also, they don't really take anything to court until they do know for sure. You know, they can actually get a solid case, which is why they have such a high conviction rate, is because they don't pull the trigger. It's not like us where we'll kind of like start bringing people in and doing stuff like that to really figure out. They're like, no, we don't do it until we know. Still think he's trying to frame Muldoon. I'm gonna go with what y'all think. We're gonna say the car didn't run. I have an idea. It's all coming together. That night, Dr. Mirkitz couldn't use his car. Ha! Now you're making even less sense than usual. Oh, Phoenix, thank you for the hydrate. I will. I will indeed do hydrate. Not according to my information, Miss Talia. Put one and one together and the explanation is simple. If it's so simple, perhaps you can show us some evidence. Show us proof why the car wouldn't run that night. We got some undies. Let's see now. Panties again. Sorry. All sorts of things come out of my panties. Even the truth. She's like, what? Another crime was committed the night of the murder. The theft of these panties. The latest in a string of similar thefts, actually. But that night, the snatcher was caught in the act. A brave young girl chased the thief until he hid in the Mirkitz Clinic garage. What? The snatcher hid the panties there before running. Perhaps someone in this court remembers where he hid them. I thought I heard Zoe grumbling. Okay. Phrasing, Trucy. Weren't they found in the car's exhaust pipe? Exactly. By the way, I learned something yesterday. A very important piece of information. And I learned it from you, Prosecutor Gavin. So you were here investigating? And I was on my way home when my hog gave up the ghost. Your hog? My motorcycle won't start. A clogged exhaust pipe. Too bad. It looks like such a nice bike, too. Hard to believe that it could just break like that. Cars, motorcycles, they're all the same. Clog the exhaust and they won't run. When in doubt, panties. I guess so. I'm gonna be glad when this case is over and we can finally stop talking about them. Trucy's very proud. She is, indeed. A little too much. My, how interesting. While Miss Talia and the doctor were struggling, the panty snatchers snuck into the Mirkitz garage. From that time until the time we found these, the car wouldn't start. What? That's why Dr. Mirkitz had to use the noodle stand. It was the next closest thing he could think of. Well, Miss Talia, this wraps your doubts up quite nicely, I think. So it does. Where am I? It's so dark. Can't see. Cramped. Pain. Throat's burning. What's your problem? You, Doc. I know what you did. Walkie? You lied to me. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, man. Wait, let me explain. Fine, I'll give you your last request. Listen, you're being tricked, but not how you think. It's not just me. No, he'll ruin everything. I have to stop him. So I wonder if he was gonna tell him something completely different, and she just had jumped straight to this outlandish like conclusion and killed him when he was trying to like backpedal out of something else, and it would have been fine if she would have just let him finish. Remember, for future cases, no, Ryua, no, we're not bringing it up. Once this case is done, that's it. We're done. I don't want to hear talk of chat's underwear. I don't want to hear about this game's underwear. None. No more. No, Jacob, we're not having a counter. No, Ryua, we're not having a Zoe with underwear in her head. No. He's gonna take her down with him. I have a feeling with this kind of game, this game has like a sense of like unfortunate tragedy. So let's see. I'll have to stop him. Cease dissent once, you two, and then bang. Well, I guess we'll never know what he was gonna say because she just cut him short. I heard my husband coming in. Funny. This isn't the way it was supposed to turn out. Oh well. Too bad. So I like how she's like, well, you caught me. Guess arresting I go. There's still one mystery. How did you manage to disappear from that stand? In the silence after the shot, I heard the witness running. I believe we heard as much from Wesley Stickler. He went to use a public phone to inform the police, which is when I made my escape. Which is when you left that slipper print. Dr. Mirkitz didn't bother taking my slippers off. I threw them out after I stepped in that paint, though. That was your mistake. No, my biggest mistake was coming to you for help, Mr. Justice. I believed in you. You and your anything agency. If anything would get Waki declared guilty, it was you. Yeah, get him, what? But then, like, why? If she wanted him arrested, all she had to do was just not get a defense attorney. And it would have been fine. I believe we reached a conclusion of sorts. Prosecutor Gavin, how is Alita Talia doing? She's confessed to everything. We're processing her arrest now. Prosecutor Gavin sure seems calm for someone who's just lost. I think he already knew. He'd figured out she was the killer a while ago. Some advice. Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days. You lost, but I didn't expect exactly win either. Something the matter, Herr Forehead? Looks like it's time to announce a verdict. Not guilty! Let's go! We did it. Nice. We did it. No, Grossimir, not the hot milky. No! Alita knew about the bullet? Oh! Thank you, Ryo. We gotta do a little dance. Let's go. Perfect, thank you. Jacob, no! So, who's paying the defense bill? No one is. Oh, thank you. Thank you, I did do it. Dang, she picked him specifically because she thought he would suck, right? The forced nonchalantness of someone who knows the jig is all up, right? Oh, another party! Nice, thank you. The one thing I've already immediately noticed about, obviously, Gavin here being the new prosecutor for this game, I find it interesting because Phoenix's prosecutors have always been like, I'm the best and I'm undefeated, immediately like Miles Edgeworth, and then we kind of slapped Miles Edgeworth a couple times. And then I know that the developers were like, we need to make another prosecutor because we're tired of saying that Miles is like the best and then keeps losing. So they did that. Oh gosh, I keep thinking I can hear him something. I'm going crazy today. And then we then had Miles's adopted little sister, because he was the one adopted, whatever. But then we had Francisca. Love Francisca. And then Francisca has an undefeated record too. And then we beat her. And then she's like, curse you! So we had those two undefeated prosecutors. It's lawyer flirting, I guess so. And then towards the end, we had Godot, who never boasted for having an undefeated record, except at the kind of the beginning, because he I never been a prosecutor, so technically undefeated. But Godot was a very kind of like in your face kind of prosecutor. And then Great Ace Attorney, we also had Von Karma, Von Zeeks, who also had an undefeated defense until we showed up, which was very interesting. But yeah, it seems like in this one, it's like Gavin's like, I'm not undefeated. He's like, I'm just here. And he's already being like, we're just here for the truth. I'll help you out. It's very interesting. Very interesting writing. Court is adjourned. Wait, create what is a surprise for you? What are you scheming? What's happening? Pro Gamer's got the hot milky verdict. No, Jacob. On Zeeks wasn't undefeated. The ones who got not guilty just did after they were released. I guess that's true. Nothing. I don't believe you, Ryua. I don't believe you. I'm sensing secrets are abound. Great job, Apollo. You did it. Yeah, we did somehow. Walkie's off the hook. Free to become the gangster he's always wanted to be. And he has you to thank. Hey, attorney man. You're gonna pay for that, for what you did to my Lita, Holmes. Or to blame, I guess. You give my Lita back. Stupid pointy-headed attorney with a death wish. Enough, Walkie. Ah, Mr. Kataki. It's high time you opened your eyes, Walkie. What do you know, old man? I think it's about time you opened yours. Giving up the life trying to become some kind of businessman. Don't talk about what you don't understand, Walkie. I'm afraid the guard is going to throw them both out. If not in jail, wouldn't that be a happy ending? Hey, maybe we can help them out. We know why Mr. Kataki needs to make so much money. Maybe we should tell Walkie. Oh, Walkie, Apollo has something to tell you. Huh? I do? Put me on the spot. Eh? What's that? Show him the reason why, Apollo. Why is Mr. Kataki trying to become a businessman? You know... Hold on, my eyelid's itchy. Oh, God. Because I'm a defense attorney. He's got to pay for my services. You think it's because he's trying to pay for his heart payment, maybe? That's the only thing I can think about this list of evidence. It's because he's trying to pay for his medical. No, not because of panties. No, no. Y'all need to stop. I think he's... If not panties, checkup papers or chart? Yeah. I'm conflicted because, like, I feel like it's either or. Phoenix, no, not you too. Yeah, because it's nothing there. No. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with my gut.
Take that!
Think about it, Walkie. Think about your condition. I talked with your mother, Little Plum, yesterday. It pays, but we need a lot of money right now. Clean money, that is. Oh, and that's why she said clean money, because they want to take him to an actual doctor. She doesn't mean... Oh my gosh, she actually looks like a pretty okay dude at this point. I mean, get rid of this right here. Get rid of that. Kind of clean yourself up a bit. You look better. He doesn't mean... You aren't really... Are you? I searched the globe and I found one. A doctor who can take that bullet out of you, Walkie. But it's an expensive procedure. Man, but... You got plenty of money already, don't you? I won't use it. It was the gangster life that did this to you, Walkie. I want to help you. I want to do it clean. Oh, those are just big bushy eyebrows. Ah! I thought he was kind of being like the dark and mysterious, like, you can't see my eyes because I'm mysterious. They were just really big bushy eyebrows this entire time. Oh, he's got little tiny little peepers. Please understand, Walkie. Sir, you're blinking at me way too much. Are you flirting with me? I don't take flirting as payment. I take cold hard cash, and I will take dirty money. Because money's money, and I'm not going to question it. Dad. Man, I see how it is, old man. Always you looking out for Walkie. Listen, good old man. One day, I'm gonna take you out. Then we'll see who's the OG. You try to hide in your business suit, I'll find you. Stupid old geezer. My, Walkie. No, it's as it should be. Mr. Kitaki. I liked him before without the puppy dog eyes. I'm glad to have met you. I'm not so good with words, but I know a professional job when I see one. Thank you. Who, me? I don't think. Someday. I'll bake you one of our latest, the Kitaki lime pie. He's opening a pie shop? So long. Damn it, Walkie. I know, right? He just doesn't know how to suss his feelings, And he was gone. Well, let's head back, Apollo. To the Right Anything Agency. Hey, since when do I work at your agency? We make a good team. Don't just stand there. Let's get going. Huh. Why not? She did help me out. And there's a few questions that still need answers. Like this power of mine that she showed me. And my bracelet. If anyone can help me figure it out, it's her. No, I can't say I care much for what her father has become. Oh, that's right. We have to go someplace first. Huh? Where? Why, to claim a reward from Mr. Altoon. Ah, salty noodles, right. Got a stand back already. Oh, and after that, you can come see my show. With a special appearance by the amazing Mr. Hat. Oh, it's special, alright. Please, anything but him. And we did a chat. We beat chapter 2. Let's go! Yes, please. Okay.